Yes, yes. How is everybody doing?
Yo, guys, what's up? Hope everybody's okay. I know some people aren't okay. A few people. There are some people who are like not arsed in it, and some people are doing okay. But yeah, how is everyone? Like aside from what we're about to talk about before we get into it.
Before we get to the bad news,
how is everyone just generally Monday in it? You know what I mean? First day of the week and that. So let us know how you're doing.
Sol says Bolton Extra. Yes, yes. That's the rebrand.
Yeah,
And they'll be stealing that from us straight away.
Yeah. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Someone said what's happening to the camera, but it might have been because I just refreshed mine, bro. I'm okay. It was a crazy night last night. It was a crazy night last night. This morning.
You know what's funny, bro? I didn't hear anything until this morning because I was in bed pretty early last night.
I noticed that, bro, because you didn't message me back when I messaged you, and I was like, he must be in bed. He's gonna wake up to like thousands of messages in our group chat.
Yeah, I was just chilling in it, and the thing for me as well, right? We might as well get into this in it because I can't keep putting it off. There's a couple of things for me. First of all, the timing, right? The timing on two different sort of levels here. We got the timing as in, i.e. the actual time. It was, what time was it released? 20 past 11? Something like that.
I can't remember.
Basically, late in the UK.
They were saying, it's coming in an hour. Then it didn't happen, did it? And then it just came later on.
It came very, very late in the UK. Now, why do that, innit? You know what I mean? Is it so some people might not have seen it? Like, I was in bed, innit? I went to sleep early last night. I didn't see it until today. Is that one of the reasons? You know what I mean? And number two, the timing, obviously, the timing is very strange. And from a City point of view, a little bit frustrating, given the fact that we're in a Champions League semi-final. You know what I mean? So this is obviously going to be boiling over. I'm seeing articles and news reports now that UEFA, people in UEFA are now trying to get City, Chelsea, Real Madrid all banned from the Champions League this year.
So
there's a potential that we might not even play the game against PSG because the obviously UEFA, right? I think something that people need to understand that some people don't understand, and obviously, most of you guys in this chat know what you're talking about, innit? But just to educate some people, this is a split off. This is a split off. So, UEFA, who have the Champions League, they don't want City and all that lot splitting off because then their product, which is the Champions League, is worth less. So if we split off, they're obviously going to be fuming and a bit salty as well, which you can kind of understand. And this is why now you're getting these rumours that there's people inside UEFA. Now, obviously, the lawyers, they must be talking to the lawyers because I'm seeing it on articles, news reports, like The Independent, you know what I mean? I don't know if The Independent's a good paper or whatever, but like you've got legit people now saying that UEFA are actively trying to see if they can get the clubs like basically banned from this year's Champions League. Now, I don't know whether that's going to happen. Obviously, I don't think it is. I don't see how they would be able to do that. But
it's a weird one, though, isn't it? Because we've still got Champions League games this season, bro. Like, surely they can't. We've left the European Clubs Association, but unless the deal. Some deal for this season keeps us in it until the end of the year, but they're not going to want anyone like us winning it.
Yeah. It's disappointing, guys. We've got a few guests that we're going to get on as well today. I won't say who just yet until they're on, but that'll be cool because we can get different people's different point of views. But yeah, just a timing on it. You know what I mean? We're in a semi-final of the Champions League against PSG, man. It's only the second time we've ever played in the semi-final of this cup competition. We've been trying to win it for the best part of a decade. And for this now to come out, and obviously, even if you're for this competition change, you can't disagree with the fact that this is going to probably cause some disruption. There'll be some players now thinking what's going on with their future because this is going to cause doubt with the players because you've got the UEFA guy and FIFA coming out saying if they do this, they will not be playing World Cup and European international European games. So it's going to cause some sort of disruption in the dressing room, whichever side of the fence you sat on. It's going to cause problems, and obviously we'll get into some of them problems as soon as have we got a guest, bro?
Yes. Sam is here, bro.
Sam who, bro?
Sam Lee. I'll just get him in a sec. Hang on.
Yes. Right, guys, we've got a couple of guests, as I say. First one, we've got Sam Lee on, guys. He's come on, he's given us some of his time. He's obviously very, very busy today, as you can probably imagine, so we won't keep him on for too long. And if he has to dip off, then he has to dip off, guys. But it's just good to get some different people's opinions in it, you know what I mean? And we'll obviously We'll probably be on for a good hour, guys. So don't worry. You know what I mean? You'll get all of. If I have to go rage mode, then you'll get the rage in it. But if I have to go cool mode,
you'll get the rage. Sam, can you hear us, mate?
Yes, mate. All good. How's it going?
Good, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, all right. Bit mad, isn't it? But all good.
Yeah. Sam, can I start by this? Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about this sort of European Super League for quite a while now, but it's always sort of been like, oh, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You know, has there been anything at all, you know, in the last sort of year to suggest that this is like really, really close? Because for me, nothing's really happened until last night and this morning when I woke up to suggest it was this close.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you remember the project Big Picture stuff in October, which was kind of the brainchild of United and Liverpool, and that was kind of reforms for the Premier. There was some Super League talk. I can't even remember the last time it was now. But yeah, I was in touch with somebody who knew somebody working on it, and they messaged me at the start of April saying, this is still their plan. But that was like the very same day that these Champions League reforms were about to go through. So it was like, okay, well, really? Like, how's that going to work? But yeah, I was told that middle of April they'd bring it out, and I thought, okay. I asked a few colleagues, and we didn't really get anywhere with it, and just kind of thought, well, there's going to be this Champions League reform. And then, yeah, obviously yesterday it came out in the afternoon, and by midnight, just before midnight, it obviously went mad. So there have been rumblings of it. But I mean, like you say, you've not seen too much, and I think we've seen from the fallout. Agnelli at Juve, you know, he was on the UEFA Exco, and he was on the European Club Association. Part of these changes with UEFA, the Champions League, and Cheferin said today that he spoke to Ed Woodward last week, and he was just saying, "Oh yeah, all fine with the plans." And obviously now they're ready to do the Super League. They will drop the bomb and quit the ECA and quit their jobs with UEFA, and they're trying to push through the Super League thing. So obviously it's been done kind of very quietly and kind of duplicitously, really, but by the main people involved.
Yeah, they seem to be doing, like, obviously a lot must have been going on in the background, and they've obviously had this day in mind. It's like, to us as fans, it seems like a random day, Sunday night, just got out the FA Cup, and then they dropped that on us.
I think it was random, to be fair. I think they were thinking around the 14th of April, but even yesterday there was supposed to be this statement at 9:30, wasn't there? But I think in the big office in London, because they'd seen all the fallout, I guess, because how Gary Neville was talking on Sky and everything else that was going on, everyone hating the idea. I think especially a lot of the English clubs were like, I'm not sure about this. When are we going to do it? Are we going to do it at all? And that's why the 9:30 deadline passed. But then obviously they just went, it's now or never, I guess. Let's do it, and they pushed it through at 11:30. So I think it was random in the end. They've been planning to do it, but God knows why they decided that point.
Yeah, Sam. A lot of what I've heard today, and like what I've seen online, is that this has sort of been pushed, not from really City. It's sort of been like United, and obviously that Glazer's name is on the statement. He's a vice president. Is this true? Has it all been pushed from United and Real Madrid, or are people just looking for someone to blame and sort of like? Because we've also heard that City didn't really want to do this, but sort of felt that they kind of had to. Is that right, or is this sort of just people sort of trying to lay off the football club that they love?
No, well, I mean, like it's. We'll get to City in a minute, but the reports about it being United, Arsenal, and Real Madrid, that's kind of independent. There's nobody involved in that trying to absolve City of any blame or whatever. That's just what all the information seems to be. People are trying to find out last night what's going on, and there's enough. Although they kept it very secret, there's enough people involved and enough people who want to talk on the side of the Super League and on the side of not having a Super League. All the information came through that those were the driving forces behind it. Florentino Perez has been talking about this for more than 10 years. I watched the Barcelona documentary that filmed when Joan Laporta was voted in first in 2003. And he came back from a club meeting, and he was talking to someone else on the board, and he was like, oh yeah, they're talking about the Super League. It sounds really good. That was 18 years ago. So it's been on the burner for a while. And yeah, there's obviously the American influence with the United owners, the Arsenal owners. It was Liverpool with that project Big Picture. I'm not sure exactly how much they've been driving it this time, but there's obviously been reports that John W. Henry is going to be one of the vice chairman as well, alongside Glazer and Agnelli, with Perez as the president. So yeah, it's definitely been driven by them, and then the City element of, had they kind of been press ganged into it, that seems to be the case. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really think that absolves City, because at the end of the day,
no.
Do you want to, like, if there's pressure on you to join it or not, you don't have to. Like, they've obviously decided, okay, well, we'll be better off, but then fine, they might well be better off financially and whatever else, and they don't want to be left behind. But the thing I've written about today, and something I've seen a lot of fans say, is the whole point about FFP and everything, and saying, Juventus are doing this with Fiat, and Bayern Munich are doing this with Audi, and Barcelona and Real Madrid are state aiders as well. And the whole point of bringing in FFP was supposedly to stop clubs like City and PSG and others challenging that elite. And City always kind of argued that it was unfair. Now City are going, well, forget that. We're in the elite now. Let's just pull the drawbridge up and crack on. So even if they were kind of bullied into it, and I'm sure we'll get a statement at some point where they'll explain what happened, I don't think, even City fans, I'm not even trying to whip up any controversy here. Like, the fans are more pissed off about it than I am. I'm not trying to say, look, the club's a disgrace for this. Like, the fans already know that. They're the ones who flew off the handle straight away last night, because at the end of the day, regardless of the circumstances, City have agreed to go with it.
Yeah. So is this then just FFP version 2.0? Because if it is, that sort of proves a lot of City fans' points that they've been banging on about for the last sort of however many years FFP's been in, 8-9 years, whatever it has. Because for the last sort of decade, City fans have been saying FFP is there, as you sort of just said, to keep them clubs at the top. Did it really work? Well, probably not. Is this now legit just like a FFP 2.0? Because it seems to be. No relegation, Arsenal are in there, Tottenham are in there. That's what it seems to be like for me and a lot of the City fans. That this is sort of, we sort of predicted that this kind of would happen. Just a shame that our club sort of gone along with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd literally say it's FFP 2.0, because in this league there's going to be spending restrictions. And we don't know what they're going to be. The plans are quite wishy-washy. We know that, there'll be 20 teams and the 2 leagues of 10 or whatever, and all the playoff system. But there's going to be spending regulations. So presumably, as well, the main clubs driving behind it, even if they all have a vote, they're going to put in some kind of financial restrictions in place to stop PSG and City doing what they feared they would do anyway. I wouldn't say it's a proper 2.0 though, but it's kind of a logical conclusion, really. Like I say. When we found out who's in charge in terms of the people on the board and the driving forces behind it, Agnelli and Perez and stuff, I did feel yesterday, and I mean I still do now, but obviously City have joined it, but I did feel then that did back up, like you said, what City fans and the club have been saying all along. It was obvious the reasons why FFP came in was to kind of keep, Juve, Man United, Arsenal, whatever, at the top and stop others from challenging them. That does seem more believable now that those clubs have been the ones saying, right, we're going to give ourselves even more power, we're going to give ourselves even more money. And like you say, it's just a shame. That's the thing from City fans' point of view. That's why it feels like a betrayal that the City fans they've argued against that for so long, and now obviously the club have joined in.
Yeah, it seems like a weird U-turn, especially after it was like a year ago. Well, I think it was around a year ago now. It was around the same time when we did the whole Cass overturn and stuff. That felt like a big win for the club. And a year later, it's mad how much a year can change. We're on the opposite side now. Going forward for City, then obviously we're still in the Champions League semi-finals and stuff. Is there any news on is there anything to know whether they're going to continue with the semi-finals, or is the Champions League going to get cancelled, or PSG just going to get it by a bye?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, the first answer is we don't know, and as same with everything and with this Super League, like we haven't even talked about if it's actually going to go ahead. Will it be allowed to? But in terms of the Champions League, I think it's one of the EXCO members, the executive committee members of UEFA in Denmark. He said today, not just that City, Chelsea, and Real Madrid should be banned, but he said they will be, and he goes, that should be sorted out on Friday. So that's one of the UEFA members already saying that's going to be the case. But again, but you've already seen people saying, well, they haven't actually broken away yet. It's an intention to, would that be legal from UEFA to do that? So, and that's the same kind of reason. So in terms of breaking away and letting the Super League happen, the Premier League say that would need to come down to a vote to let the Premier League clubs go. But the other Premier League clubs aren't going to let them go, really. As much as some of them might think, oh yeah, let them crack on then. If they want to do that, then go. But a Premier League TV deal domestically and overseas, is not going to be worth anywhere near as much as the amounts they get currently if those top 6 clubs aren't in it. So, like, as much as Leicester and West Ham and whatever might think we can win the league here, they're probably thinking we're not going to get anywhere near the same money on a financial deal. So the Premier League, if it comes to a vote, they're not going to let it happen. Obviously, the Super League clubs could just say we're leaving without it, but then it's just going to be legal battles all over the place. The government today said there's no chance they're going to let it happen. They said they spoke to the Premier League and other leagues and UEFA who have said we're not going to let it happen. And the government said, even if they do, we're not going to let it happen. So there's loads of people saying it's not going to happen. And to me, it initially felt like a bluff. It initially felt like, and it might be, but it felt like the Super League clubs were just doing this to get the leverage, and then they could get what they want from the Champions League. But at the end of the day, if they can get 300 million a season out of this, which is like 3 times as much as you get for winning the Champions League, then I can't see what they could be offered instead that would make up for that. But I don't know, it feels like a big game of chicken, and with the whole being excluded from the Champions League and whether the Premier League let them go or not, I mean, I guess we're going to find out as maybe this week goes on. But if they really do go ahead with it, then I guess it will be legal battles again. And as you know, City fans know, they're not resolved quickly.
Yeah. What you just said there, like negotiation, obviously, and trying to get what they want from UEFA as part of the Champions League. What is it that the Champions League could do, or UEFA could change, so these teams go, actually, you know what, we're better here? And also, now they've done it, is that not sort of like a dig at the other teams? You know what I mean? Like, if you're like an Ajax fan or any fan of a club that hasn't done this, how are you going to feel if UEFA just turn around and say, oh, you know what then, we're going to have to give these 12 teams an extra couple of 100 million, and you lot are all going to have to suffer? Because the money's going to have to come from somewhere. It's probably going to be for the clubs that aren't in the Super League. Yeah,
they'll probably get a bigger share. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's complicated. But obviously, the Champions League was going to reform anyway.
Yeah.
But that idea is crap as well. Like, the Champions League as it is isn't perfect, because it's like the top clubs get the more money, and like in Germany, you see Bayern Munich get so much, and they get so far. It just makes their league more uncompetitive. So it's not perfect anyway. But the reforms they were going to suggest, just more games. And obviously, they're going to have a longer group stage. There'd be more group games. The Champions League group stages are quite boring anyway, aren't they? Like when City play Shakhtar Donetsk at home, like every season, or whoever it is, the group stages are just kind of a procession for the big teams generally. They were going to make those group stages even bigger. To be fair to the people on the Super League, they have said that what's the point in doing that? It's not quality. It's not what people want to see. Like, and they're saying our league will give people quality, which I don't agree with either.
No.
But to go back to these Champions League reforms, they're kind of been pushed through today. But this is it. Like, I'm not sure what the Super League clubs could want. Obviously, it would be a bigger share of the money, and I'm sure UEFA would probably give them that reluctantly to keep everything together. But they're not going to get the kind of money that they could get from this Super League, and that's why it does seem more and more convincing that they're going to push through the Super League as hard as they can. Because, like I say, 300 million a year, it's ridiculous amounts of money. That's such big sums. But obviously, that would just hobble the Champions League completely. And like you say, clubs like Ajax and Porto, whoever, end up, whether there's a new Champions League where the big clubs earn loads of money, or whether there's this Super League, like, who are these 5 clubs that are going to get the invite? That obviously these big clubs say, "Oh, you can come and play this year." Like, that's why people hate it, obviously. And like you say, what are these clubs going to feel about the big clubs?
Yeah,
they hate them, obviously.
That's it. Right. Well, I know you've been mad busy today, Sam. Really appreciate you coming on. Before you go, what's the next thing we need to look at? What are the sort of key dates or key sort of catalyst moments here that are going to sort of, you know, bring people to discuss this European Super League again? What are we looking for?
Well, I mean, it is all going to kick off this week, because like UEFA and obviously the Premier League stuff, they don't want it to happen. So every day there's going to be big developments. I think the big thing to look out for is obviously the clubs individually, but as we're on a City chat here, when are City going to make a statement? When's Ferran Soriano presumably going to sit down like he did with the CAS verdict? Do you remember, when obviously City got banned in CAS? Soriano sat down and said, look, these are all the questions. This is, don't worry, we're going to fight this. What's he going to say to the fans? Like, how is he going to say this is actually a good idea? That is absolutely fascinating. So that's a big thing to look out for, and you would think that would surely happen this week. But obviously, we've got tomorrow. Guardiola's doing a press conference, and he'll be asked about it, and that might be very tricky, because I imagine he doesn't like it. Yeah. But how much can he say, given they've signed up? So that's one to look out for. There's a game on Wednesday. Will people watch the game? will fans say not bothered? Like, that would be interesting. Obviously, not going to the stadiums anyway, but that's to look out for. But then, you've got these UEFA meetings. There's already been a lot of strong stuff today, and I suppose just because the guy in Denmark said we'll see on Friday, I guess Friday is going to be a big day as well in terms of whether City and the other clubs are allowed to carry on in the Champions League. But who knows? Like you said, it was dropped randomly on the Sunday night. Things could be kicking off at any point. People are making statements left, right, and centre. So tomorrow's another day, and there's bound to be even more tomorrow.
Yeah, throw in the mix of Jose Mourinho getting sacked in the middle of all of it as well.
I was just thinking that that was fun for like 5 minutes, and then it was complete afterthought again.
Yeah, I've not even thought about that once since just thinking about all this. It's insane.
And obviously for City, what does that mean for the final on Sunday? It's probably not going to be a good thing. But
oh yeah, new manager syndrome and that.
Yeah. And like Pep doesn't know what to analyse, like, because he can analyse what they're going to play like under Mourinho, but now who knows what? Was it Ryan Mason?
Ryan Mason, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Crazy. Moving fast. And really appreciate you coming on, Sam. I know you've been mega busy today, so thank you very much for giving us your time.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, pal.
Sam.
Good show.
Appreciate it.
See you, man.
See you in a bit.
Yeah, massic shout out to Sam Lee there, guys.
Big up, Sam Lee!
You can only imagine when he sat there last night, right? He's probably sat there. I don't know if he's got a partner or anything, but he's probably just chilling. Might have had a glass of red wine or something, just about to get in the bed, and then his phone just goes ping,
bing, 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 bing,
and he's like, oh no!
What have I?
It's 20-12, and I'm now in the middle of an absolute.
I'm almost certain because I was up late last night as usual, innit? And I'm sure Sam was up bare late last night. I'm sure he was tweeting bare stuff.
I think that's what he kind of has to do. I mean, that is a lot of people say there's a lot of perks with being a journalist and stuff, and some of the perks seem quite nice. However, 20 to 12? 20 to 12 at night. On a Sunday, you want to go to bed, and then something like this breaks. And it was kind of like not really heard. Like, we spoke to Sam there about, we've heard about this for a year, but it has been very, very quiet. It's all been done under wraps. So to get all that sound and news out all in the space of like a day is absolutely crazy. And we did have some so yeah, massive shout out to Sam. Go check him out on Twitter, guys. Right, we got a couple super chats, Brie.
Yeah, we got quite a few super chats.
Let's go through the super chats before we're going to get another guest on in about 10 minutes time. So let's go through some of your super chats. What are you guys saying?
Foden the GOAT with the €5.49 said, I watched my club in the Championship to win the Prem and beating Real at the Bernabeu. I won't let money run this club down.
Yeah. So, Harvey O'Brien coming with a £2. He says, RIP football.
Ooh, that's big statements, isn't it? Tom Story with the £5. How are Arsenal, one of the big six clubs, they can't beat Fulham and are battling Leeds for 10th? See, this is what Gary Neville was saying. Yeah. How have Arsenal bragged their way into there? I don't get it.
It is an absolute joke that Arsenal are in this, right? And because it's, the whole thing about this, right? It was never really going to go down too well. Obviously, you've got some people who are like, I don't mind. You've got some people who are sort of like on the fence, and then you've got the people who just absolutely hate it. But one of the things that surely you would have had to have done is to offer something which is superior to what we've got now in terms of quality. Like, Sam was just talking then about City playing Shakhtar Donetsk at home quite a few times, and that can get quite boring. But if you're Barcelona at your pomp or Bayern Munich, Arsenal, I'm not being disrespectful to Arsenal, that's a massive club, but if Arsenal turn up to Bayern Munich, they're getting smashed 5-0. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Arsenal played Bayern Munich twice in 2 seasons and got beat 10-0 on aggregate.
Yeah, they did.
So, let's not pretend that Arsenal's some mega club here. They're a big club, a huge club, obviously. Won so much, but in current form, they are not going to be competing with the likes of City, Liverpool, Bayern Munich. Obviously, Bayern Munich are not in there, but you know what I'm saying. Basically, this shit is what I'm trying to say. However, fair play. I went on Arsenal Fan TV today and watched a couple of their videos on this because I was like, wanted to get their take, and they're all. I mean, most of them. There were obviously there's a few of them who were obviously. I think Goldbridge said it's like lottery for some of them, but most of them, fair play, were completely against this, and I mad respect that because obviously it's a lot. I think it's a lot easier for City, Liverpool, United. I know Liverpool might not get in the top 4, but all those clubs who are basically going to be in the top 4 now for the next couple of years to sort of turn around and say this is a terrible idea, right? But for a club like Arsenal, where your club's 10th. And you're not in the Champions League. I don't even think you're in. Yeah, they're in Europa League this year, but they might not be in the Europa League next year. for them fans to turn around when they've been given the opportunity for a free pass to get into a competition like that, and they're turning around and saying, nah, this ain't right, this isn't right, we shouldn't be in this competition. You know, they were saying they want to earn their way into it, either by top four or by winning the Europa League. You know, I think they're still in the Europa League. They were buzzing about that. And it's, you know, so fair play to the Arsenal fans who are on that, because obviously that takes a little bit more guts, I find. Tom Story came in with another £5 super chat. Appreciate that, Tom. He says, all they're going to do is lose every week and finish bottom of the ESL. That as I thought, I swear, half of AFTB will die to constantly losing. Well, that's what they were kind of saying as well, Tom. They were saying that what's the point in them going in there? They're just going to get smashed every game unless they invest the money, which they're not going to do. Arsenal will not invest that money in the players. They will just 100% not. That money for them is going to go straight to the owner or whatever. It's a complete joke. Cronenberg also come with a £5. Thank you very much, Cronenberg. Probably need a few beers tonight. This isn't City. City's for the fans. Main road vibes. Fighting for promotion. The success was amazing last decade, but I don't recognise this future. Well, no one's going to recognise it.
It's a grey area. The whole future of the football club. We have no idea what it's going to be like. We don't know what it entails. Are we going to be in the Premier League? We're not going to be in the Premier League. You know what I mean? We have no idea what the future of the football club at the moment looks like, which is a weird situation, bro, isn't it? Considering we've just been looking forward to the future in the Champions League, and now we're not in the Champions League. Which is madness, bro. Liso Matwana, bro. We've always branded ourselves as not being one of them. The corrupt clubs are all about money. This just a huge slap in our faces as fans. Yes, Liso. I understand exactly what you're saying, and it is a massive slap in the face as fans, because obviously a year ago, like we said to Sam then, a year ago, we passed Cass and was kind of like the club that was doing it for everyone else. Like, you can be a small club, get taken over and work your way to the top. You know what I mean? We were fighting for what we thought was right, innit? Mm-hmm. And then now they've kind of gone, well, we are now the big club, so let's sit at the big boy table. Yeah. And the only problem with that big boy table is the door's locked, mate. It's locked. Yeah. Ain't nobody got a key unless you've got an invite. It's a private party.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Holoko Mane, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Coming in with a 59 Zai says, new Champions League format isn't any better, guys. Get over it. Well, I agree. The new Champions League format isn't any better.
It's still elitism.
But that isn't a reason to get over it. You know, there's serious problems with both things. I think obviously Arsenal just allowed in. I'm pretty sure the new Champions League. Because obviously all this is just basically dropped today. With the new Champions League things dropped, apparently there's going to be stuff there where the Champions League has basically prestige clubs here allowed in. It's absolutely crazy. Big Johnny coming in with a £10 super chat. He says, when the owners came in, they promised us that we would not be a cartel team. We've been fighting against FFP and been fighting for the Champions League, and we're about to flush it down the toilet. Well, they're saying... Well, we don't actually know what they're saying because they've not told us anything, and that's something that frustrates me more than anything. You know what I mean? I am not against change, right? I recognise that maybe the Champions League does need some sort of change, some sort of refresh.
Rework, yeah,
a little bit of a... When was it done? 20 years ago? I don't know when it was done. It was done a while ago.
Just modernise it a bit.
Maybe it needs to be changed slightly. Who knows, right? But the fact that they've done it behind everyone's backs and then haven't actually told us what the rationale is, like, why is City not talking to us? You know what I mean? We have every City fan loves Khaldoon, loves Cheeky and loves Ferran.
Yeah, you feel close to them.
But right now, City fans, not all of them, but I'd say a large majority of them are all sat there saying, what are you doing? This isn't right. We don't want you to do this. And they're not talking to us. They need to talk to us. Apparently, there is a source saying that they've talked to a few fans. But that doesn't help, because guess what? There's a lot of fans, not just a few fans.
Yeah, that is true.
And I don't know if this is true, but this is obviously a source. Why should only a few fans be told what the reason is? That's wrong. All City fans are equal, regardless of your stature or where you're from, whatever. We should all be told at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Why does another fan deserve to have their opinion, but not like you, bro? You know what I mean? Or why do I deserve to have my opinion over someone else? You know what I mean? Yeah. Also, just as Sam Lee was talking to us, bro, a guy called Chris Williams, he said, as he's put on Twitter, as reported this morning, now official via Reuters, UEFA Exco member Jesper Moller expects Chelsea, City and Real Madrid to be expelled as soon as Friday. A further UEFA meeting will now take place within the next 24 hours. There'll be a motion to formally expel Arsenal and Manchester United from the Europa League and Manchester City, Chelsea and Real Madrid from the Champions League. Meeting will also decide how the competitions will be completed, and that's pretty much, it lines up exactly with what Sam was saying.
If that happens, right? If that happens, and then this isn't actually like a real thing, like it is a negotiation, then have we potentially there just thrown away a golden opportunity to win our first ever Champions League to get a little bit more cash?
Yes.
This is why I believe that this is happening. I think it is happening. I don't think it's a negotiation, because if we do end up getting correct, if we do end up getting basically kicked out of the Champions League this year in the semi-finals, how do you think Sheikh Mansour, he's already been there once before against Real Madrid, how do you think if Khaldoon rings him up and goes, yeah, how about an extra 50, 60 million? However, that Champions League semi-final, the second time we've ever been in it in a decade, we're gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to get cancelled. I don't think that's happening.
The thing, bro, purely from a business aspect, purely from the whole business side of it, bro, you got. If Khaldoon goes to Sheikh Mansour and goes, oh, this is happening. Look, what was it? Sheikh Mansour bought us for 200 mil.
Yeah.
We're getting 300 mil just as a buy-in, bro. We're getting 300 mil to go into the competition. From a business stand, Sheikh Mansour will be looking at going, this is great business.
It will, but does he need that?
But that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. Does he need the cash?
And does he want this, like, does he want this reaction from City? I'm not 100% sure. Let's go through some more super chats, bro.
More super chats, bro. Big Johnny, £9.99. Yes, Big Johnny. Cheers, mate. When the owners came in, they promised us that we would not be a cartel team. We've been fighting against FFP and been fighting for the Champions League, and we're about to flush it down. And we're about to flush it down the toilet. Well, it seems like everything that we've done is just everything that we've worked towards for the past time, it's kind of just come undone, bro. It's kind of just fizzled away. This whole cast thing doesn't mean anything really, because
it would help, bro, if the club spoke to the fans.
Basically,
that's what they need to do now. They need to speak to the fans and tell us what's going on.
We're in that limbo part, bro, where
again,
we
fans
don't know
are at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on. It'd help if last night they came out with the statement. If they're gonna drop it, bro, they should have prepared a statement on an hour before they dropped it. How long does it take to record a half an hour video, bro?
Yeah, no, it's stupid. Danzibar come over with £10. Thanks a lot, Danzibar. I back City bosses. I'm sure they made the wrong decision for the right reasons. I trust them to have made consistently good decisions in the best interest of our club. Now that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, that's what we have to hope for. That's what we cling to, innit?
That they've made the right decision, and as fans, we're just blind, by whatever, you know what I mean? But you hope this is, the way they've run the club has been pretty much perfect since they've come in. You know what I mean? They've done everything as a fan point of view, probably right. Because a couple of mistakes here and there, but we've got to. Some people will say, well, no, Lewis, I'm not backing them. I mean, you've got to hope that what they're doing turns out to be the correct decision, and then we're all sitting here in a year's time going, remember that time when we was all up in arms and actually it was the right decision? I guess that's what you got to hope. But from what people are seeing, people just don't believe that, and people are saying that this is just a stupid decision. Nate Morse also coming with a £10. Thanks a lot, Nate.
Yes, Nate.
He says news says that it could be as soon as Friday that we get banned from the Premier League. Playing a big time. What I just said, yeah, playing a big time every week takes the excitement away for as well as football. So we'll be very mundane. Well, obviously, this is another thing. Will the Premier League kick us out? I just don't see how you can have a Premier League, right, where some clubs are earning an extra £300 million for an invitational competition only, and obviously other clubs are not earning that. Leicester are clearly a better side than Arsenal right now, clearly, but Arsenal are going to earn an extra $300 million just because they're called Arsenal.
Because
that's not right.
It seems a weird situation, bro, to still allow us to be in the Premier League when it's so separate.
Yeah, stupid. We have got another guest coming on in just a second, guys. I'll just read out the last super chat I've got here. Patrick Carolus. What's Patrick saying? He said, this is pissing me off. This is a pissing match between two groups of rich arguing about who should get more money. Everyone hating on Super League, but UEFA aren't safe. No, you're absolutely right. And I guess that's the one good thing that would happen if this thing does go through, in the sense that you are kind of putting a finger up to UEFA, but it's what the price comes at. Cronenberg with a £2, ESL run by clubs, match fixing paid, referees galore. That's another thing. This whole thing's going to be run by the clubs. Do you really want the clubs to be running a competition? I don't think so. And Aisha with a £5, Man City was pressured into this. They will make the best decision for the club and the fans. That will never change. Well, hopefully you're right. Hopefully we're all set in a year's time, and you are correct. But at the moment, people are worried, man. People are worried. Right, we got another guest on, right?
Yes, bro. Just give me a second. I'll ring him now. Okay. Who is the guest, bro?
Right, the guest is, some people might know him, but he's Kevin Parker. Now, he's the General Secretary of the Manchester City Official Supporters Club. So this will be interesting to see what he has to say. I guess he will have a line in with the club. How much he has, whether he's been told anything, I don't know. But obviously, regardless, it'll be interesting to get another person's opinion on this situation.
Yes, Kevin, can you hear us, mate?
I can, yes.
Can you hear him, Lewis?
I can hear him loud and clear. Kevin, how are you doing?
I'm not so bad. Not so bad. It's been a busy old day.
Yeah, indeed it is. Indeed it is. Did you hear the news last night, or was you like me? Did you get an early night last night and woke up this morning?
No, I was waiting for it last night because the supporters club, we were waiting to put our statement out, and we were hoping beyond hope, I suppose, that City weren't going to be involved, or City hadn't committed their involvement to it, which is why we waited. But yeah, so I was waiting for the statement, and then when it came out, I was very disappointed. Obviously, we put our statement out, and then I tried to get a good night's sleep, which wasn't easy, obviously.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, what are the fans saying at the moment? Obviously, we see a lot of the fans saying that they're not happy with this. But is there any way that the club can sort of rectify this? I mean, for me, the main thing that still needs to happen is that the club have to speak to the fans. They have to tell the fans, the rationale behind this, or give them something. I think if they do that, it might help. They've done absolutely nothing so far.
No, I agree with that 100%. I did an interview with Simon from the Manchester Evening News earlier, and listen, we're all frustrated and disappointed and embarrassed and ashamed. But part of the reason for that is we don't really know what's going on. We don't know why the club have made this decision. Listen, I'm aware through speaking to a few other people in the media that City actually were the last of these clubs to commit to this Super League, that United, Liverpool, Chelsea and Spurs committed very, very quickly. Chelsea and City didn't commit, that they've sort of dragged the feet a bit, maybe because they weren't sure about it, and maybe because they wanted to wait until they had a feeling about what the groundswell of opinion was going to be. But things moved very quickly over the last 2 or 3 days, I believe. And as a result of that, the rest of the members of this Super League put City and Chelsea under some pressure. Are you in or are you out? Chelsea committed then pretty much straight away, and City had to think about it and then committed. So I think the fans deserve an explanation from the club as to the process that they went through in terms of why they had the conversations in the first place, what they contributed to those conversations, why they originally were reluctant to commit, and then why they changed their mind and committed. Now, based on an explanation for all of that, City fans, or some City fans, might actually say, well, listen, the club have done as much as they can, and between a rock and a hard place, they've made what they think is the right decision for the club moving forward. But we don't know, do we? Because we've not had an explanation.
Yeah. It's
that's the most difficult part, I think, of the whole thing is kind of we've been stuck in this limbo mode of having no idea how to think. We don't know what the club's thinking. We don't know if they were backed into a corner. They've done this out of just like they have to join in out of fear of losing out kind of situation. There's news about Champions League coming out about us getting banned. What's your take on that? What do you think about the whole Champions League system? How do you think that's going to go?
Well, even if we don't get banned, you would have to say there's 4 teams left in the semi-finals and only one of those teams has committed themselves to UEFA. Yeah. That would suggest that maybe UEFA might only want one team to particularly win it. So even if we stay in, you might guess where the 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20 decisions will go on the night, on the 2 nights, I should say. And yeah, I've just read a little bit somewhere that some Belgian member of UEFA is saying that on Friday, City, Real Madrid and Chelsea are going to be kicked out of the Champions League. I can't see that because listen, I suppose even though UEFA is saying there's going to be no consultation, there's going to be no backing down, and the Super League are going to be saying we're going ahead, somewhere along the line you just feel that there's a lot of negotiations still to be made in the hope that both sides can come to some form of agreement. That will never happen if UEFA kick City, Real Madrid and Chelsea out of the Champions League. So I can't see that happening on Friday, but I would not be surprised to see PSG ending up winning this trophy, come what may.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that situation as well. I can't bring myself to believe that UEFA would let any of the other three teams who haven't committed to get anywhere near that trophy. Especially,
no, I can't see that either.
Yeah,
I can't see that. And then we've got the worry this morning. Tomorrow we've got this other meeting with the Premier League, the 14 members of the Premier League who aren't included in the Super League, and of course, any changes to Premier League rules only need 14 votes of the 20 Premier League clubs to be carried. So it's going to be interesting to see what those other 14 clubs decide tomorrow. They could come up with anything, couldn't they? They could say that. You could say the 6 clubs are suspended from the competition for the rest of the season. There could be a points deduction for all 6 clubs. Who knows? Why would those 14 clubs want to do anything that helps out the 6 clubs that have committed themselves to play in a different competition? So it's going to be a very interesting and frustrating week at the same time. And of course, in the middle of all that, we've got a very important game at Villa on Wednesday night and an important game at Wembley on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin, before you go, I want to ask about the fans again, because again, the fans just seem to get left at the bottom of the pile. However, rumour has it that the clubs, if this goes ahead, are going to get about $300 million just as a welcome bonus. Can the fans expect anything that's going to sort of enhance their match day experience, maybe cheaper tickets, anything to help the fans here, or is this just going to be, again, just for the owners, just for the clubs, and the fans are going to get absolutely nothing as per usual?
I think if the fans were going to get anything out of this, when we'd have been involved in some form of the consultation. Listen, they're sort of talking about giving £10 billion to the rest of the teams in the Premier League and the Football League over a 20-year period. That sounds like a bit of a bribe or hush money to me. There is no indication that things are going to change. City made a loss of £127 million last year, and City say they will put that right. And sure, they're going to get $300 million or $300 million, £250 million just for signing up to this league. I can't see that's. Listen, they might spend some of that on improving the stadium, increasing the size of the stadium, but the reality is the number of fans who are saying that they're not going to go again. I don't think that's going to be worthwhile. And I even think, even if they drop ticket prices, so many fans are so disappointed with what the club are doing. I'm not sure that that's going to persuade them either.
Yeah, it's a strange position. It's probably the weirdest time as a City fan at the moment. It's one of the most shocking sport things that I think has ever happened. It's something else.
Come out of nowhere, hasn't it? Kevin, been great speaking to you. Thanks a lot for coming on
Always
at
a
such
pleasure.
last minute. Nice one. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
No worries. Take care of yourself, boys. See you now.
Cheers, Kevin. See you in a bit, mate.
Yes, that was Kevin Parker, General Secretary of Manchester City's official supporters club. He's coming on there. And again, guys, it's just enhancing the fact that regardless of where you stand on this situation, whether you're for it, whether you're against it, or you got to realise something here. There'll be loads of fans right now who don't know. And that's fine, by the way. You shouldn't just automatically just go, nah, it's shit, or yeah, it's mint. You know what I mean? Have a look at what it is, you know what I mean? Have a look at what the alternative is. Look at the alternative of the Champions League. That's not great. Maybe you're all against the European Super League, but then you look at the new Champions League format and then you go, actually, what's the best out of a bad bunch? Have a look at the situations before you jump on it. I don't think either of them are great right now, and I want to see what happens in the next week or so, because there's obviously every day, as Sam was saying, as Kevin was saying, every day this week it's just going to pop off, and there's going to be news every day, man. Everyone's going to get stuck to the phones.
Bro, it's going to be next level. I feel like if we stay in the Champions League, bro, and don't go to Super League, the new Champions League format is trash.
Yeah.
I feel like we go to Super League, we're risking a lot. We don't have domestic trophies anymore, bro.
One of the problems that we've got as well here is that people will now listen to people like Gary Neville What's the other guy who does Match of the Day in the BT? The guy who shot himself. What's it called?
Gary
Lineker, Rio Ferdinand. All these pundits, right? And they're obviously just the pundits in Britain, but in America you'll have your pundits, in Australia you'll have your pundits, etc., etc. One of the problems that we're going to have now is all these pundits are all going to be slagging off this new competition, and some rightly so. But why are they doing that? One of the reasons they're going to be doing it is because their product, again, it's all about money and that, is going to get decimated. If you're BT and you just spent £300 million on the Champions League, you're not going to be saying to Rio Ferdinand, oh, no, it's all right, mate. If you think it's a good idea, then you just tell everyone it's a good... You're going to be telling everyone to slag it off and tell the fans to do that. So I say it again, make your own mind up. Have a look at what's being offered. Have a look at what's on the Champions League, and then make your own mind up. Your own mind might still be that you hate it and it's wrong, right? And that's fine. But do your own research in it. Don't listen to these people, because everyone's got an agenda. That's something that I've realised, over the last year of the whole casting and seeing it today. I've realised that everybody has an agenda. You can't trust anything that comes from a broadcaster, because they're not going to get the TV rights, man. They're not going to... This TV rights deal for this new Super League is not going to go to a BT, or it's going to go to a big dog, and you probably all know... You probably all know who it's going to go to. It's probably going to go to a streaming service, or it's probably going to go to the clubs where they can sell their own channel, like Man United TV, City have their own City TV. So, of course, people on Sky, people on BT, people on NBCSN, or whatever you have in your country are probably going to slag it off. And like I say, that might not be the wrong thing. It's just they're doing it for an agenda. So when you slag it off, make sure you've done your research, innit? CZX Cole coming with a $2 Canadian. Thanks for keeping me updated on this. Well, we're only saying what we know, which is very little, because the club haven't told us anything.
Yeah, we're pretty much in. So we're in the same boat as all you are. We have no idea, innit? We have no idea what's going to happen, innit, or the way we go forward from here. Tyrone Bro coming in the £4.99. He said, I feel like I've lost all reliability with the team. How am I supposed to feel sorry for them if they lose to PSG? They only care about money. That's if that PSG game even goes ahead. I can't see a situation where that even happens, bro.
This is again why the club need to speak to us, because Kevin just said there, City were the last club to agree to this. They didn't want to do this. So we need to know two things. Why didn't they want to do it? And what changed them at the last minute to say, you know what, nah, we have to go for this? If we knew that, as fans, we might be sat here going, see what's happened, you know what I mean? They really had no choice, you know what I mean? They didn't want to do this, they really didn't, but they had to. But they've not told us. They have to speak to us. CZX Cole coming again with a $5 Canadian. It's an absolute mockery of football by these 12 clubs, all just for money, power, and putting stuff in their favour.
Well, bro, you have to. That is it. That is it, bro. It's greed. And look at the state of the Premier League at the moment. You've got Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, all with, well, you can't really say Arsenal. We're fighting for that top four spot, bro. Look at how they've fallen down the pecking order. And you've got teams like West Ham trying to push for a top four spot. You've got Leicester who are sitting in that Champions League spot. And I feel like them teams like Arsenal who are on the decline, bro. Mm-hmm. They're 100% going to accept this deal and we're going to be buzzing about it, bro, because it protects them. It pretty much guarantees their success for the next 23 years or however long it is. Which isn't fair, really, when you consider the likes of Leicester, Everton, West Ham all looking good this season, bro. And it's like, it's pretty much just a fuck you in the face to them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're doing well, but that isn't going to get you anywhere. Arsenal's merit of being an elite football club, that gets him there. It's all money, bro, and it's cash. And that's what it's based around, bro. It's greed. And that's why people are saying greed, like, to us as well, bro, when we don't need that money, bro. We don't need that money. And we're taking it. But then we don't know anything from the club. We don't know their point of it. But
they have to speak to us. It's absolutely ridiculous. Adam Booker coming with a USD. That's dollars, isn't it? Man, my head's gone. It's coming with a $10. He said, fans who came before 2008 will know this has caused an identity crisis for many. Time for a Phoenix club like FC United or of Manchester. Would you be on board? Well,
I've got an idea. Well, let's make our own. Let's make our own City Extra FC. We'll start at the bottom. We'll work our way to the Prem, and we'll beat Leicester in the Premier League title race.
Yeah, I think, again, I need need to know why they need to speak to us. I ain't saying anything until the club have spoken to us. Cronenberg's coming with a 5. He said, this ain't about local fans. The money comes from international TV deals, and eventually City won't have anything to do with Manchester. This is where it leads. Well, again, there's been so much speculation, Cronenberg, about what happens next, and no one really knows because it's still in its infancy. But they're trying to say that they want to get it going ASAP. So
like rapid, bro. They want to get it like August, bro. That's so fast. That's such a quick turnaround as well. What wouldn't surprise me if this is the first step of it all, bro. We'll be out boxing. They go to loads of different places like Saudi. Do you know what I mean? They'll pretty much they bid for that event to make that. Do you know what I mean? Like. The Super League final, bro, will be ran on places. We'll be playing home games, bro, in different countries because it'll get a big bid from somewhere like China, somewhere like that, to go play there, and we'll be playing a home game in China. Do you know what I mean? That's obviously we don't know if that's going to happen, innit? However, this feels like a stepping block. You don't know where it's going to go, innit? Do you know what I mean? You have no idea. You have no idea what is going to happen right now. East Manchester FC. We should call it Eastlands. Do you remember when Etihad was called Eastlands? Yeah, it was called Eastlands FC.
It is disappointing, guys. Right, we've got 2 more guests coming on. The next guest, Bray, is not on the list. I've just recruited him right now. I want to speak to JSGC, bro.
Ah, yes, bro. You know, I've seen him in the chat before, and I was just about to message him. Yeah. When's he coming on?
He's coming on right now.
Do you want to run through these super chats rapid? I think there's 4 more.
If you want to sort it out, I'll go through the super chats as you sort out the technical side.
Is he coming on video?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a YouTuber, isn't it? So he has to kind of come on video.
What have you been speaking to him
on? Instagram, bro. Just
your personal.
Yeah. If you send him the link on there, it should be chill. Cronenberg coming with a £2. He says, hate it, no relegation, same clubs, top 4 is dead. This is the thing, Cronenberg. They're trying to tell me this is more exciting. It doesn't sound more exciting to me. And one of the things is, I don't want to be playing Real Madrid every. I mean, how many times am I going to play them? Once, twice, and I don't want to play them every year.
Bro, sorry, I know I'm maybe doing this, but one thing that I've been saying for the past last night and today to Nathan, bro, what I've been saying is, bro. It's mint when you play Barcelona because you don't play them all the time, and it's an elite, like it's a big event. However, when you're playing them on the reg, it kind of loses it. It loses the feel of it.
It's not good, man. That's what makes European nights special. And I know as City fans, some of us don't find it special because we don't like UEFA and we might not like the way the competitions run or whatever. However, I'd say if you're a match-going fan, but even if you're not a match-going fan, because I've watched, obviously, I've experienced it both ways, and I'm sure a lot of people have. I've experienced it going to the stadium. I've been to home and away games, and I tell you, if you're at the Etihad on a Champions League night, it's brilliant against a decent team. And if you're away, it's also brilliant. But equally, this year, through the pandemic, I've been sat right here watching City on the TV on some European nights, and it's brilliant. Dortmund, fantastic. But, you know, it's because we don't play these teams all the time. And yeah, you might get unlucky and have to play Shakhtar Donetsk once or twice. I actually feel that's a little bit disrespectful. Me and you went to Shakhtar Donetsk away. We went to Ukraine and I had a great time.
But that's one of my best away days ever.
It's one of my best away days ever. It was an effort getting there. It cost a bit of cash, but it was when we was there, it was brilliant. You know what I mean? But we're not going to have that anymore because is Shakhtar Donetsk going to be invited to the Super League? I highly doubt it. Big Johnny coming with a £5. He says, if City join this glorified MLS, then I will support Main Road FC. I feel betrayed by the club. We could have won 5 Champions Leagues if we stuck with UEFA. It seems like this year that we're finally making some progress with the Champions League, and then we're about to bin it off, which is a bit disappointing.
Very disappointing.
M. Doper coming with a $5. So with the huge situation going on, will Leeds versus Liverpool actually play today? Well, I think they will play
tonight, innit?
But I'm telling you now, this will have an effect on the players. And if you don't think it will, then you're kidding yourself. This statement's coming out by the guys at the very, very top of the game saying these players, if they go ahead with it, will not play in the World Cup and Euros. Now, that will affect some players. Some players will just look at the cash. Look at Oscar at Chelsea. Great player, gets off to China for the big cash. So some players will just sack it off and will go for it and no problem. Some players, if that's a legit thing and they're able to block players from playing in the World Cup, some players will not accept it and will end up leaving to go to a team where they won't get banned. Tyrone coming with a 5. He says, I used to watch the NBA and believe me, this new format they're proposing is in the ESL is boring. The league means nothing, so it's basically friendlies. Well, this is again... From what I've read, and again, this has only come out today, there's a league, and the top 8 then go through to qualifiers. But you've seen it. A league is a league. Look at what happens with the Premier League. You get to a team where they're like at the bottom of the league. They're not asked. You know what I mean? What's the point if you're bottom of that Super League and you're playing a team that's also at the bottom and you've got a match? Is that going to be a good match? Probably not, because they both know they're not going to get top 8.
And that ruins it, bro. That ruins it, bro. Say Arsenal and Spurs at the bottom, innit? Right?
Yeah.
London derby clash, but they're at the bottom of it, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's almost like a friendly, bro.
Nah, it's pretty mad. Thanks a lot for the super chat, guys. Dancy Bar come over to £2. Big LB and Joddy Potter for USL pundits.
Yes. I don't think we do great. We say bro too much. We have weird conversation skills, and I don't think that would be a good move. That, bro. That is definitely not my venture. And we have one more super chat, bro. With Jordan Bass, £5. Heartbreaking this that my city is no more. Legit feels like ... And I can't say the rest, bro.
A breakup.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it does feel like a breakup, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right, JSGC is ready, bro. I'm going to send in the link now.
Right, JSGC, guys, for those that don't know, he's a fellow City YouTuber. I think he's already done a video on this.
I watched it this morning.
So some of you might have seen it.
20 minutes, very good video.
But we'll get him on and see what he has to say. Guy's been at work all day grafting.
Yes, I think he literally recorded that video, bro, just before he went to work. He was ready to go to work, had his lanyard on and everything, ready to go. And then, do you know what I mean? He sat down before going to work doing a 20-minute video. That is dedication. That is dedication to the fans, innit, bro?
Indeed.
Oh, the end of the JSGC video was cold. It was ice cold, mate. You know what I mean? Jason, a real hitter, innit? Fotis Cafensis. I think I got that right. I don't know. With a $4 Canadian, bro, but with no message. If you post a message below it, I'll let you know as soon as it is there.
Is he in, Bray?
Not yet, bro. So keep pretending that you know what you're talking about.
JSGC, are you there? People want to know what you're saying, innit? So come through. But yeah, guys, just disappointing. Just disappointing that this has come like this. Like I say at the beginning of the stream, I am not against change, you know?
Yeah.
I recognise that there may be a slight issue with the current setup and that the clubs might want to try and get a little bit more cash out of it. Maybe they feel that what they're offering... I mean, you can kind of understand if the big clubs are going, we deserve to get a little bit more of the current share that we're getting than a club, say, like, I don't know, some club who just comes in it and just gets beat 4-0 every game type situation. However, at the same time... There needs to be a better way than this, and the automatic invitational only type, you're guaranteed a spot. That is just absolutely ridiculous. It is that for me is the killer here. Is the fact that you get clubs like Arsenal being invited to it. Why are Arsenal invited? Have Arsenal ever won anything in Europe? Anything?
I actually don't know. It's very strange.
Have they ever won a European competition ever?
I have no idea.
Because we won some competition back in the 40s or something. Now, it wasn't the Champions League by all means, but we've won a European Cup. We've won a European trophy. Have these? I don't know. They might have done. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying the current situation, they do not deserve to be invited to it. And this isn't a dig at Arsenal. Like I said, I went on Arsenal Fan TV before, and to their credit, the Arsenal fans, most of them agree.
It is a very strange situation, bro. Apparently, but Leeds United are planning to wear T-shirts during the warm-up against Liverpool this evening, which read, "Earn it on the pitch, football is for the fans."
Right, that's brilliant. JCC just sent a text, bro.
Yeah, I've seen it, bro.
It's coming on now. Dandy did anyone go to the Etihad protest? Well, I don't think there was much of a protest. I've seen pictures online.
I've seen banners. I've seen some of the banners at Liverpool as well, bro.
This is the thing, because if you go there, they get the security out. You know, you'll get thrown off the premises. Will they try and find out who you are and ban you? You know, delete your season ticket? I don't know what's going to happen. I just say right now, everyone just chill out for the moment. See what happens in the next couple of days. Let's assess what's being offered. Because you got to remember, it's not the Super League or the current Champions League. The current Champions League is changing. It is changing. So I still need to have a look at the full what's being offered there and what's being offered here, and see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to make my mind up straight away. Do I like it? No. But we need to see what comes out in the next few days. And I would also suspect that in the next few days we'll start seeing the finer details. Who else is joining? We're going to have no German clubs in. We're going to have no German clubs in the European competition.
No French clubs in.
No French clubs, no German clubs. Apparently there was a few rumours that Schalke were going to get invited. I mean, that's just more of a joke than the Arsenal. They're bottom of the league. They've won 2 games all season. I mean, that surely isn't right. But we're going to have no German teams in. We're going to have no Ajax, European powerhouse,
bro.
No French teams. What happens with the Scots? How will the Scots get in there? If you're a fan of Celtic, Rangers, whoever, Hibs, we got a Hibs fan. If you're a fan of one of them clubs, you know what I mean? Obviously, they're quite far off ever winning the Champions League, and I'm sure they will accept that themselves. However, they can get to the group stage now and again, and who knows, one time they might make it to the last 16 or whatever. Current situation, that's not happening. How do they get into this invitational? No one knows. So we need to find out.
Yeah, right. We have JSGC on with us now. Yes, JSGC. How are you doing, Jason, mate?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Can we hear me? Are we all good?
Can hear you loud and clear, mate. Can hear you loud and clear. Now, you did a video this morning, is that right? You were so frustrated, you had to get it off your chest.
Yeah. I woke up. I went to sleep yesterday at about 10 o'clock. They said they was going to do an announcement at 9:30, so I had everything set up, ready to go. And I was like, I've got work again. I need to wake up at 6:30 and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to have to pack this in. So I packed it in and then woke up at 4:30. And I've seen all hell's broken loose on Twitter. So I'm like, I'm just digesting it all. And I'm like, I think get a video out there. If I'm completely honest, get all my thoughts across. But it's difficult just to tweet out opinions, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Character limits. I just thought I'd put a video out there. Quick 10-minute video turned into a 20-minute rant.
Yeah.
yeah, it did.
So,
absolute mess.
For those that have not seen it then, Jace, what was your reaction this morning? And now you've been at work all day, obviously you probably thought about it. Has your opinion changed, or is it still as it was this morning?
The dust has settled a little bit, so I feel like I'm adapting a little bit more of an opinion that's coming from elsewhere and looking at different kinds of opinions. So initially, just my reaction this morning is just based on Manchester City, how I'm not happy with the formation of this league. I thought it was taking away the integrity of English football and everything that it stood for. It's all its foundations. I just weren't happy with the creation of this. And my biggest problem that I had with the formation of this league, and I've got a problem with UEFA's new proposals for their reformation of the Champions League, is the fact that they're wanting teams just to automatically be put into the Champions League because they've got a God-given right to be there. And that's my biggest problem. You earn your way to the top. And the one thing I love about English football, there's big clubs sitting in the 4th division of English football. And there's always going to be hope there that these clubs, even the little clubs even as well, they can rise and they can get right to the top of that football pyramid. It isn't impossible to be done. And I feel like with this European Super League, with the money that's involved, and there's a serious amount of cash involved for them, that it's just a big kick in the teeth for the large majority of football clubs. And it made me feel sick, if I'm honest. It made me feel ashamed. I've never, ever in the 19 years of supporting Manchester City, have I ever felt ashamed. There's been low moments, very low moments when I've been supporting us, but I've never felt ashamed to wear the City shirt. I can't even muster up putting a City shirt on right now. I feel that ashamed that we've signed up for such a thing. And our name's now been branded out there as being a founding member of something that has the very potential to destroy English football. And my initial reaction was, it just made me angry. It made me mad. I had to get the video out there. I have looked at it from alternative perspectives. I think the key bit that lies beneath this European Super League is that fundamentally this helps other clubs. English teams in the Premier League, there's so much money involved in the Premier League. None of them 6 teams in the Premier League, need that money. They do not need it. There's so much money out there. It's pure greed. Now, have a look at some of the other clubs that have signed up for the European Super League. So Barcelona, they're in a financial mess. Mm-hmm. They're always going to sign up for being given a free $300 million US. It's going to make sense for them. They're going to be pushing hard for this to happen. Real Madrid as well. They've struggled financially in the past. Atletico Madrid, there isn't too much money in La Liga. The same can be said for Serie A as well, the Italian clubs. I understand why AC Milan and Inter Milan have signed up for this. There's prestige there. There's money there for them. This make sense to them. And I would love to see the thoughts of these clubs rather than just from England, because I know you were saying before about the reaction of broadcasters coming from America and Australia. I'd love to know the reactions coming from them countries in Spain and in Italy with their thoughts on this, because at the moment it feels like we've got an all-out war with UEFA and the governing body, and I feel like that's where the problem lies. I know a lot of the comments on my video were about what's the solution, what can we find from this, and I felt like the best solution we can find is to be able to reform UEFA. It's full of corruption, it's full of things just being dealt with wrong, and I feel like this is why the clubs have kind of walked away. It's a chance for them to start again. However, how it's going about and how it's being run and what it means for English football, I can't get behind it. I cannot get behind it. I got a text just this afternoon saying I've got a chance to get Carabao Cup tickets for the final. Normally I'd jump straight on the opportunity. I got the text, I just laughed. I went, it's not happening, is it? I feel passionate about it. I feel strong about it.
That's one thing that we're not really spoke about much, is the fact that the domestic cups, it's just like we're writing them off just as if they were nothing ever. Do you know what I mean? Like us going out the semi-final of the FA Cup, now suddenly it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't mean anything because it's not going to be a competition that we're going to be in again. And the Carabao, the exact same. We've got all this buzzing about joining being joint Carabao leaders. The amount of times we get every win on Sunday, is it? And it doesn't even mean anything anymore. It's like it's strange.
It's sucked away. It's sucked away a bit of the passion and the build up coming up. We've got a match coming up against Aston Villa. It's a huge Premier League match. I've brought all my setup here and everything to try and make my preview video for that video, and I can't really compose my thoughts for it because there's just nothing there. This news has just completely blown me out of the water. Someone made a really good comment on one of my videos. Actually, they said that the performance against Chelsea, it makes sense now why the players and the coaches, they didn't really look arsed, if I'm honest. It's an FA Cup semi-final. I think all the fans were arsed about it. We wanted us to go and win it. And City normally turn up. They want to win everything. That's Pep's attitude. Just watch the All or Nothing documentary and you'll see how much winning means to him. So that turned up on Saturday just didn't make sense. So perhaps this news makes that a little bit clearer. Maybe the players and the coaching staff and everything knew that this was perhaps around the corner, and so their feelings towards it wasn't quite there. They're not really that bothered. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's speculation. It's something that obviously I think a lot of fans have thought about. Do you know what I mean? If they knew something, then I mean, it almost all of a sudden it kind of makes sense to rest all your players.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jason, just before you go, I want to know from your point of view, how important is it for you as a City fan that the club come out now and speak to you? Now, that doesn't mean personally on the phone. It means, speaking to us all as fans, as a collective, and explaining why they've made this decision, explaining why they were on the fence, and then explaining why at the last minute apparently they turned around and decided to join. How important is it for you that the club come out here and explain this to us?
It's really important, isn't it? The communication or lack of communication coming from the clubs to the supporters, it isn't there, is it? Let's be honest. They're always saying they want to improve fan experiences at the Etihad Stadium. They want to do this, they want to do that, and they do consultation on how to improve it. And actually, the easiest and best way of improving anything that's happening at Manchester City is to involve fans more. There is no way on planet Earth that there would be fans, a selection of fans that would be happy with the decision that Manchester City have made. The fact that City have been hesitant about this speak quite a lot of volume for me. It's telling me that there's something in the back of their brains telling them that we're not sure this is the right thing for us to do. That could easily then have just said, look, we've been offered this. This is what's been put forward to us. What's the fans' thoughts and reactions on this? Do you want us to pursue this? Because they haven't done that, and they should have done that. And because of that, now it's left quite a few City fans questioning their loyalty and support for Manchester City. And I'm going to include myself in that. If City continue to pursue going down this route where I feel like they're alienating the rest of English football, then I don't think that's something that I can support the club in doing. And I support the club through thick and thin. But if they're going down a path that is the wrong path, the path that they shouldn't be going down, then I fail to see that from my morals, how I can continue to follow that through with that happening. I love the German style, their philosophy. There's fan ownerships there. The fans get an opinion and the fans get a say. I feel like we don't have any say. It's just, here's what's going to happen. Here's what you're going to do, and you're going to do it.
Yeah, it's a very much deal with the situation. You know what I mean? You deal with it.
Well, if you have 1.5 billion in your back pocket, let us know and we'll buy half the football club and stop it from happening.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we're in the mud. We're in the mud.
To be honest, though, I don't want to praise the club for the situation, because I don't think they should be praised. But I did put out a tweet yesterday putting, if JP Morgan want to sponsor me and give me $300 million to take the morals out the window, then let's face it, you're going to do it, aren't you?
Yeah, 300 million, mate.
Nice one, Jace. Thanks a lot for coming on, pal.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate.
No problem.
See you later.
See you in a bit.
Right, guys, that was Jason, JSGC. Go check his channel out. City fan YouTuber.
JSGC.
Sound guy, man. So that was good. Right, one more guest if we can get him on. Hopefully we can. We were running a bit late because how mad this is all just moved. While you try and do that, you're the tech guy, Bray. I got a couple super chats. In fact, just one, I think. From Ty, Storm City. Yes, Ty. Nice to see you back. Hope you and John are doing all right. With a £20 super chat. Thank you so much.
£20.
Ty said, today was the first time I wasn't wearing my City gowns when I was walking my dogs in North London. I walked him an extra hour just trying to get my head around this. I appreciate this chat, lads. Was needed. Big up the guests. Yes. Thank you very much, Ty. And big up the guests for coming on and give us their views.
Yes. Did you already reveal who the guest is or no?
I will in just a sec. One more super chat. Big Johnny coming with another £2. He says, can't wait to see Manchester Blue in FIFA 20.
It's Green Man Blue, innit?
Yeah, there is rumours saying City and obviously the rest of these super clubs, or Super League clubs rather, are going to be kicked out of FIFA games. So if you play FIFA, then...
Time to move to PES.
It could be a PES thing.
Oh, bro, we hope that some big dog game engine, like some big dog game creator, picks up the Super League and makes a good game. I mean, FIFA's trash. About time I had a good game.
We'll have to see. Right, the next guest, if we can get him on, because we are running a bit late, is Ian Cheeseman. Now, obviously, most of you know who Ian is. Most of you might have listened to him. Those from the UK might have listened to him. We probably have listened at some point when he was on the BBC network, giving us the commentary. Then he moved into, what did he start doing? He started working for the club. Now he had a fan channel. Yeah, and all good.
Yes, Ian. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you.
What are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts on everything that's been dropping over the past two days?
Disgusted, ashamed of the club that I love, and really feel that this is hypocritical by them. They took UEFA to task when they tried to keep City and perhaps other clubs who might come along in the future out of the cartel. I was very proud of the dignified way that they battled that, and they won. And as far as I was concerned, that was a win for football. That was a win for everybody. I know that some people who are not City fans might not see it that way, because they might think that the only motivation for me saying that is because my club has succeeded and can buy players and be at the top of the league. But I truly believe that it should have at least opened the doors for other benefactors to come along and support any teams. And I would have no problem with somebody going to Birmingham City or wherever it might be and saying, you know what, big City club in the doldrums for a long time, I'd like to put my money in. And next year, Birmingham City end up winning the league and buying all the best players. Great for them, great for their support. And I thought that's what it was all about. Perhaps I was a little bit naive. City have now got to that point where they've beaten that objective. They've jumped over the fence and they've said, right, we're in the cartel now, but we're going to keep everybody else out. So this can never happen again. You hypocrite, a total and utter hypocrite, only motivated by money. And I'm really, really disappointed. I thought the Sheikh and the chairman, the Sheikh's obviously been very quiet and the chairman's always been extremely dignified in everything he's done. They've obviously signed up to this, because it wouldn't have been signed up to without their permission. And I'm so disappointed. It feels like even if this gets overturned, even if the fans win this particular battle and the European Super League doesn't happen, they have revealed their hand. They have shown that they don't give a toss about football supporters or City fans. And when they start talking about us using, language like, I forget the word that they use now, sort of, old school fans, basically. Legacy fans. What? No, I'm sorry, but I'm ashamed of my football. It's still my football club. I haven't quite decided yet, what happens to me in the future, where I go. I mean, obviously, I'm a lifelong fan, 45 years, home and away. Many of those years, probably about a third of those, I was doing it for the BBC, so I was working as well. But most of that time, 2/3 of that time, I've been going since the Supporters Club football specials in the 70s, right through to the present day. When I left the BBC, I launched a YouTube channel, and if you want to call that a fan channel, whatever you want to call it, I do a podcast. I've done bits and pieces on other radio stations. I'm working for Sony TV in India at the moment, covering Champions League and FA Cup for them. So I'm still an active journalist. Wrote the book with Vincent Company 18 months ago. So I'm still until for a little while, City were taking my supporter content and putting it on their website. And I thought, wow, isn't that brilliant? The club care about fans. They want, I was creating a platform that gave football fans a voice. And I was very proud to do that because I had no agenda. I didn't want to make it like Arsenal Fan TV and have it all negative views, even though that would have probably earned me a lot more money and got me a lot more notoriety. I was prepared to make sure that I kept my ethics, as it were, and respect football fans and treat them with the dignity that they deserve. So sometimes they didn't have a lot to say, and when City have just won a game, and I wasn't bothered. If that meant my numbers were down, so be it. City came to me and said, we like your content, and for a couple of years, the content was going on the club website, and they were paying me a fee, which was fantastic. That stopped, obviously, when COVID came along, but I can't imagine now, going forward, that the football club want to hear the voices of real fans. They just want happy clappers and people who will just toe the line. And that's not what City fans and football fans are all about. We don't want to have a go and launch into a diatribe just unnecessarily. I don't like that any more than anybody else. But come on, respect people to be honest and fair. And I'm afraid that creating a cartel-led, no relegations, all the different permutations that come from this, who cares now whether we win the league? Because we're all ready for the next 23 years of the European Super League. Who cares if we win the league? Who obviously don't care about the FA Cup or the League Cup. They're prioritising the Champions League. Why? Why do you want to win the Champions League? You obviously don't care about it. You're leaving it next year anyway. It's just disgraceful.
Ian, you touched on it there slightly, but something that really sort of upsets me and disappoints me from the football club is throughout this whole FFP scenario, which has been going on for absolute years, City have had zero support from anyone in sort of the mainstream media, and they've been getting absolutely battered. And it was left largely down to the City fans online, and not online, in person as well, to sort of defend the club. And the club didn't really offer too much in defence until they were absolutely forced to do so, i.e. court. And now, despite all that, despite all the fans backing them, it seems like as you say, it's a bit of a hypocrite that they've now gone and joined that side, because for me, this whole thing is basically, in my opinion, like a FFP 2.0. It might be slightly changed, you might have a trophy with it, but essentially it's there to keep the big boys at the top of the table, which FFP was designed to do. And City fans have defended the club for the last 7 or 8 years over FFP.
Absolutely.
And now they've gone and done this and offered zero. They've not even spoken to the fans, the heartbeat of the club.
No, absolutely. I mean, for the last few years, whenever I've been invited onto a TV channel or a radio channel or wherever it might be, I have vehemently defended the club and always felt that they were acting ethically correct. Now, there is an argument to say, and I've heard some people saying this today, that they've been pushed into a corner, that, they didn't sign the letter of getting involved in this until Saturday night at the last possible moment. That they were sort of reluctant signees to it all. And maybe that's true. And I'm sure that there are lots of people who work for the club. There are lots of good people who work for the club who are having to keep quiet at the moment and are probably agreeing with all the upset that the fans have. But unfortunately, the key people who are making this decision, and ultimately the buck stops at this fantastic fella, Sheikh Mansour, that's come in, kept quiet, only came to one game, perfectly dignified, puts his money in and supports the club, returns to the old traditional club badge, built the CFA on ground that was recovered from the old dye works, built the sixth form college, done houses in the area, done so many things that are fantastic, which I can't be more gushing about. And yet when it comes to something like this, to be so out of touch with it. Now, whether it's him that's made the decision, whether it's Soriano that's made the decision, whether it's Mubarak, Khaldoon who's made the decision, I don't know. But the point is that my football club has made a very, very big mistake. And if they think that, at the moment, obviously lots of City fans are saying, that's me, I'm done, I'm not going to go anymore. And they assume that once everybody's calmed down and a few weeks or months have gone past, that as soon as COVID's over and we can all go back, all this will be forgotten and people will just go back. But there's already been a lot of discontent for quite a while about a number of things. The whole way that football is generally going, and VAR and prices and who knows what else. This is going to be the final straw for a lot of people. But the assumption is that fans like me who've lived through everything from Belley, Summerby through the low down years to the present day, we're discardable. It doesn't matter about us. There'll be a million 20-year-olds who don't care about all that tradition, who just want to watch the big stars who replace us in the stadium. But I think they've completely misjudged that and got that wrong.
Yeah, I feel like they're very much tailoring everything right now to the future fans and not the fans who have been with them through thick and thin. And it is kind of like, it is a kick in the teeth, especially when we've done this massive U-turn. And now, like you say, we're joining the cartel. We're sitting at the big boy table now, and there isn't no way back for any of the other clubs. And this is what it is. Do you feel like we can't, if even realistic, we can U-turn this and maybe sort of deal out with UEFA? Or do you think we're laying our cards out and we've gone too far?
Well, first of all, don't forget UEFA were going to introduce a new look Champions League anyway. And by the way, that was awful too.
Yeah,
I didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that UEFA are the answer, but neither would I go as far, even though we know that there's been things that we don't agree with UEFA and accusations of corruption. Nobody's defending UEFA, and certainly I'm not. But as much as I didn't like that new proposal, that was a little bit more livable with than this, which is absolutely disgraceful. Now, there's been such strong feeling that I just hope that the momentum isn't lost, that this doesn't end up being a week long in the headlines and then next week it's the chip paper and we all move on. Because obviously the summer's not too far away, and as City fans, we're expecting City to win the Premier League, not that I care anymore, the League Cup and possibly even the Champions League again. Don't care at the moment. And then you go away with a smile on your heart and then look forward to next season when hopefully we can all go back. But I think if fans maintain the angry feeling that I sense so many people have at the moment and channel it in the right way, I do believe that this can be overturned. And apart from the obvious, the cartel side of it and everything like that, I don't think people really can envisage how it'll get even worse, because I can imagine that if they succeed with this breakaway, there could then be developed into whether it be a world league or a cup that's played, all over the world against other teams. They'll be taking games away from the Etihad and playing them in America. The world becomes their oyster once they get away from all the rules and regulations that stop them from doing it at the moment. So this is on the tip of the iceberg that we're seeing here. It's going to get a lot worse if they win, but hopefully they don't win.
Aye, scary stuff. Ian, thanks a lot for coming on at such late notice, buddy. I really appreciate that. Great speaking to you.
My pleasure. Nice to speak to you as well.
You too. Have a good night, Ian. Right, guys.
Cheers, Ian.
That was seems like a bit of emotion there for me. Obviously,
Yeah,
like you say,
massively passionate, bro.
Ian won't mind me saying it. He's a little bit older than me and you, bro. Obviously, he's seen a lot worse stuff in the past than me and you. You know, I mean, I've seen bad stuff. I mean, I've seen Stuart Pearce, but I've seen us in Premier League. You know what I mean? So there's only so much that we can compare. And I think when you speak to the people who have been following the club for 30, 40, 50 years, some even longer, they just don't like this. And
I think, bro, it's a little bit disrespectful that they've just been regarded as legacy fans, bro.
well, this is the thing. Who is a legacy fan? Am I a legacy fan?
Are we legacy fans?
Because I'm hoping, touch wood, you know, with my diet and everything, probably not going to happen. But touch wood, I'm hoping to be here for another 50 years, bro. Maybe even 60 if I can get there. You know what I mean? With the medicine developments, and I'm hoping to be here for a good 60 years. Am I a legacy fan?
Bro, nah,
what are they trying to tell me?
Bro,
here?
you're dashed. That's basically what they're saying to you is, bro, you're done.
What's going on here? Am I a legacy fan? Who's a legacy? Is Ian a legacy fan? You know, is my dad a legacy fan? You know, who are these? Who are legacy fans here? You know what I mean?
I genuinely think that the legacy fans are the fans of this era, and when the Super League starts and stuff, the fans who join because of that are all the future fans who are gonna pump merch out like worldwide, bro. And we'll have bare fans watching from all over the world. And I just think it's just a weird situation.
I want to say as well, because there are some people who are up for this. So you've got to respect the fact that there are some people who want this to happen. Some fans who want this to happen, and that's all good. But even if you're a fan who wants this to happen and you see this as a positive change, you can still not agree with the fact that it should not have been done like this. There should have been debate, proper debate with fans, match-going fans, even fans that are not match-goers. You know, everyone has a right, you know what I mean? No one owns the football club, you know what I mean? The club is there for everyone, regardless of where you're from, and there should have been a proper debate of how this is gonna happen. The rules, everything should have been spoke about, everything should have been open. But because it's not been done like that, everyone just sees it as a cash grab. Everyone sees it as, I mean, how Arsenal, I keep coming back to this, but how Arsenal have managed to wing their way into this competition is absolutely beyond me.
Kroenke, is it called Kroenke? Is that his name?
Kroenke, yeah.
Kroenke, yeah. People saying that it's obviously because he's American, bro. A lot of this is American backed in it. You have John Henry, Kroenke.
Well, I think 4 of the 6 English teams all have American owners. I've seen something. I was listening to Talk Sport today.
People saying lag.
Exterminate. Yeah.
People saying fine.
People were saying. There was people saying on the Talk Sport today that in the US they don't really have like a relegation zone system in a lot of their major sports. So some of the American owners don't get this whole relegation thing and just assume that you should be able to just be in a competition. Well, that's fine. That might work in some sports in the US, but it doesn't. We have a system in Europe where we have relegation. It's always been like that, and it shouldn't be changed just because you can't plan your business. And at the end of the day, if you can't plan your business, it's because you're doing it wrong. That's a simple fact.
I have some news, bro.
What's the news, bro?
1894 have come out. Said they 1894 won't work with the club now until betrayal reversed and fan base treated with respect. A reminder of what Mansour said in 2008. Without you, there would be no club to buy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, who said that, Mansour?
No, that's what Mansour said, and then it's the 1894 group.
Well, you know, put your money where your mouth is. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Is there any way that we can get the City Extra Twitter thing up in the middle, bro? Because there's a couple pictures of some of the banners that have been put up today by some of the guys, and I just think that it'll be pretty good to show people who've not yet seen that. A couple of young lads there. I don't think there's many people there, but you know, the fact is, there's been no organised protest. There's been nothing, and there's already people there showing their banners, not happy with the football club. There's one there that says RIP MCFC 1894 to 2021. That's by Ollie 25, who's down at the ground, I believe.
People saying massive lag.
Yeah,
massive lag. It seems to be when I open that.
Yeah. Is it fixed now? Are we back on, guys? Let us know. Let us know if we're on. What are we saying? Oh, fine now. Yeah, it must have been that, bro. You must be right, bro. Right, got a couple super chats. Let me go through these the updates on the super chats, guys. What we got here? Cronenberg 1664 coming with a £2. Players should refuse to play in league. Is that League Cup 0-0 plus miss penalties? Is that League Cup? Oh yeah, League Cup final. That's what it's on about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing as well, Cronenberg. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Is there'll be some players. Because obviously you've got these guys at the top of the game saying these players, if they go play for the Super League, they're not playing for the World Cup and they're not playing for the Euro 2020, which is now in the mud potentially. I don't know if you've seen that, bro, but they're now worried about that all happening.
Yeah, all the different locations.
Yeah, the different locations. So you'll get some players now. So you might get Kevin De Bruyne, right, who's at City now, saying, "Well, I'm not 29." This Super League, you know what I mean? It's not got any prestige about it. You know, I wanted to win the Champions League. Say we don't win it this year for whatever reason, we get beat or we get kicked out. Then what's he rather win? He's only got a couple of years left. The money probably won't change for him too much. So does he want to win a Super League, which has no prestige, and you never know, he might win it, and then in a couple of years we all go back to the Champions League? Or does he want to go and win something which does have a bit of prestige, which is the Euros, or maybe the World Cup in 2022 in Qatar? So you're going to get some players who say, nah, I want to play in the international, I want to play for my country, and you're going to get some people who will just want the money. And look, whatever way, some people just want the cash, and you know, you shouldn't dig them if they want to do that. If they'd rather play for cash rather than the country, then so be it. But the fact isn't to have a go at either player, either decision. It's the fact that you're gonna have splits in your players. You know, if they go through with this thing where they're saying clubs where they play in the Super League, then players will not be able to play for their international teams, you will 100% get a split. You're not telling me that 100% of the players who play for City right now are going
to be happy.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I'm going to sack my country off and I'll just go play for this brand new tournament. You know what I mean? And if they do that, they'll be wanting a pay rise. So this £200 million that you're getting in, it'll go out the door quicker than it's come in.
A couple of tweets, bro, from Fabrizio. Jurgen Klopp has made his statement to the BBC. He says, I have the same opinion about the Super League. It's a tough one. People aren't happy and I'm not involved. Liverpool Football Club is more than some decisions. My aim has always been to be part of the Champions League. I like the idea that West Ham can play in the Champions League. Remember, the most important parts of the club are the supporters and the team, and we should make sure nothing gets in the way of that. I understand the fans' anger because of the Super League. I don't know exactly why the 12 clubs did it, but it's always more games, more games. It's about more money, nothing else.
That's it, more money. And guys, I put a tweet out today, right? And I'm going to read it out for those people that didn't see it. Go follow us, by the way, at City Extra Pod on Twitter. And this is what I said. I said, and I 100% stick by this tweet. I put, by the way, the UK media, and I probably should have said just the media in general, but the UK media and fans of opposition clubs have a lot to answer for here. FFP, Financial Fair Play, was an attempt to keep the big clubs at the top of the game. And instead of actually accepting that and trying to address what UEFA tried to enforce, you all just started fucking moaning about City buying Robinho. And that is 100% the truth. FFP was there to keep Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Juventus, you name it, them sort of clubs at the top of the game. They didn't want, they've seen what happened with Chelsea a few years ago and they could accept it. Then it happened to City. Before you knew it, you had a load of these rich blokes looking to buy football clubs to get them all to the top, and they went, geez, we can't compete here.
We need to put a stop to this.
But instead of actually focusing on that, you had fans of Arsenal, you know, who've now winged their way back in, and loads of other clubs. We had mates of Bolton Wanderers, mates saying, oh, you're a joke, FFP this, FFP that. You know what I mean? But unless your club was actually involved and could see it for what it was, which was nothing to do with financial fair play, it was to keep the big clubs at the top of the game, then you couldn't see it. And obviously now they're being... And in a weird sort of way, I don't know what the word is, I kind of just want to say, you know what? You know what I mean? We're going to go and do this Super League because we've been telling you, City fans have been telling you for the last decade that FFP is a joke. We've been telling you why it's there. We've been telling you that we're getting shafted. And not only we're getting shafted, you're getting shafted. You didn't believe us. You tried to mock us. You tried to get us kicked out of the competition. We even had to go to court. So you know what? We're not here for you anymore. We're here for us. And
the thing is, bro, we've been getting this for years.
Yeah.
We've been getting this from all other clubs for years about the whole FFP thing. It's going to ruin you. It's going to ruin you. But what people didn't realise, it was too late to ruin us. It was only going to ruin everyone else. But the model of FFP is keeping the big clubs at the top and the small clubs at the bottom. So this is just like during the coronavirus mutates, bro. This is just a mutation of the FFP. That's what it is, and it's become a new version of it where they've found a way where everyone's agreeing to keep the big clubs at the top, the small clubs at the bottom. It's just annoying that City, after fighting for the smaller clubs and for himself, and to be able to do this, to be able to dream that one day your club could be up there with the big boys. The City themselves have put the nail in the coffin to say, nah. We're not about that anymore. We're in the big boy.
I also, bro, I don't buy this whole thing where City were backed into a corner. I don't buy that at all, because Bayern Munich are not doing it. Dortmund are not doing it. PSG are not doing it. You know what I mean? Leicester aren't involved. Like, there are a lot of good... Like, none of the French teams are in it. Ajax are not in it. There's a lot of good football teams that are not involved. You know what I mean? So if you would have all stuck together, then you could have done it. But instead, we're just that guy who was sort of like, well, I had to do it because everyone else was doing it. You know what I mean? It's sort of like...
If that guy... It's a situation, if he told you to jump off a cliff, would you jump?
We just sort of went along with the ride, and that upsets me because the club should have made the decision based on what it truly believed and not just because they felt forced into a decision because everyone else was making it.
Which I agree with. I completely agree.
Look, guys, at the end of the day, we still don't know the full ins and outs of it. We don't even know there's still 3 more teams to come into it, apparently.
Yeah, we have no idea actually what's going on. The club still aren't saying anything. We need to wait for more information from the club, for more information from the whole thing, because it all seems to be a bit... The announcement that City made was a copy and paste job for every club use the exact same one.
The club have to speak to us.
The club we need to know. And I remember the FFP, it took about a week for Ferran to come out with a video?
Yeah.
So I imagine it'll probably be about the same thing, because they'll probably get vetted by loads of lawyers and that to make sure he doesn't say what he's saying. People saying that we're getting kicked out of the Champions League on Friday. Yeah, well, we spoke to... If you weren't here before, we spoke to Sam Lee pretty much straight away on the show. It was really good speaking to him. And he said there that apparently Friday could be the day that we get kicked from the Champions League. And I guess that means PSG win?
Oh, yeah, or they'll get other clubs back in. But it's just a mess. It's a complete mess. The club have to now speak to us. It's no good, this radio silence. You know what I mean? It's actually making the situation worse. You know, as a club, why you decided to get involved with this European Super League. So tell us. We're not idiots, you know what I mean? People in this chat, not me and you in it, because we ain't we're clever guys, but some people in this chat, man, they got degrees.
Yeah, these guys know what they're talking about, bro.
We got doctors, nurses, lawyers. We got clever people as a City fans, right? You can tell us and we'll understand it. And if I won't understand it, someone else will understand it and tell me what it means, innit?
Those translate.
You don't have to keep us in the dark. We are football fans of this football club. We were here longer than you have. You've only been here 10 years, right? So you can tell us what's going on. We've been here longer than you. You do tell us what's going on. And if we back it, we'll back it. But we can't back it because you're not telling us what's going on. Right.
That's the issue. The silence is it.
The silence is it, guys. We'll have to wait and see. There potentially might be more of these streams as the week goes on, because by the sounds of it, every day is going to be pretty mad.
I think you're going to be hearing a lot of this. The emergency live stream noise. The annoying thing is, bro, that brings me back to good times of the whole Messi saga. These are not good times.
Yeah, nah, it's disappointing, guys. And the whole thing about, as I say about the cash, you get that 200 million cash in. The cash is going to go out the door quicker than it come in.
The thing is, bro, what did it cost? And it cost them the fans, bro.
Yeah, it's not the one. It's not the one. It's not the one in its current format. And if it is the one, then tell me why I'm wrong, innit? Because, you know, you're a clever guy, Khaldoon, Sheikh Mansour, you know what I mean? You got yachts and that, you know, you got boats, many houses.
Big cash.
You guys got big cash, you got many houses. You're a clever guy. If we're all sat here wrong, then tell us, but you're not told us.
Tell us the reason, innit? If you know, they know why they've done this, bro. They know why they've done this, or else they wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I basically, as City fans, we have to cling on to the hope that the board have done this for some reasonable decision that is right.
Yeah. Nah, very, very, very disappointing. Right, guys, we're going to get off. I don't think we've got any... When do we next play a football match? Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday we play Villa, and Sunday the Carabao Cup final. 2 games that probably relatively mean nothing anymore. But you know what I mean? We may as well win the last Carabao if we're never going to be in it again.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so we'll be back Wednesday. Big game about, Villa. It is a big game in terms of the Premier League. Aisha's just coming, by the way, with a 5. Thank you very much, Aisha. I think for sure by the day things will become clearer and this will turn into a negotiation. We will have to speak out before Friday, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. This isn't super chat, but Darren just put in the chat here, business-wise, City had no choice because we would be far behind. We'd lose our players and have no pulling power, wouldn't even make revenue that is needed. Had no choice, really. That's one thing that I'm clinging on to is the fact that it was backed into a corner and we couldn't make the decision, but then you can't really buy him out for that. Because, do you know what I mean? Because you still can't make the decision. But
there would have been 15 teams in the Premier League that could have made rule changes. And then you can force rule changes. If you're going to take an extra £300 million a year off and other clubs can't, then you're starting with some sort of deduction. There's 15 clubs there that would have been able to make a difference, but instead City just joined the pack. I just felt, for me personally, Darren, I felt that my club should have made the decision based on what it actually believes rather than, everyone else has fucking made the decision, so we're just going to have to go along with it. Otherwise, we'll be behind.
Yeah, well, maybe there, City had serious FOMO, wasn't it? Fear of missing out. Yeah. That's what it is. We didn't know what... Basically, the grass isn't always greener, but we didn't want to take that risk, innit? We were like, I don't care what colour green that grass is, I'm going to go and I'm going to make my bed there.
Yeah, beyond belief, your sport. The Sheikh is here for money. If you thought it's because he loves Bezic and surrounding areas, you're mistaken. I thought he wanted to just redevelop the whole of East of Manchester. Right, guys, we're going to get off. Thank you very much for joining us. As I say, possibly might get more of these as it unfolds during the rest of the week. Someone just asked about Sam Lee. He was on at the beginning. We also, who else did we have? We had Kevin Parker. We had JSGC.
Big up
and we
Sam Lee,
also
Kevin
had
Parker.
Ian Cheeseman.
What are the ats, bro? At Sam Lee. I'm guessing at Kevin Parker, at JSGC. But yeah, go follow them. Appreciate them guys coming on. It was very good of them to just last minute come on. But do you know what I mean? We'll put some timestamps in the video straight after this where you can see who we talked to at that point. Right, that's us, bro.
Yeah, man.
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for your super chats. It's been a wild stream. Obviously it's not great times, but we'll keep you updated when we find out stuff. Like Lewis said, there'll be more emergency.
Maybe we'll become a fan who gets to know. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we become in the know. That's the dream.
All right. Catch you later, guys.
See you in a bit.